Now the latest ITV news in the Tyne region with Ian Payne and Amy Lee.
Hello, good evening. Thank you for joining us on tonight's programme.
Hot streak, a heat wave is officially declared after our region sees record temperatures. So, is the sunshine here to stay?
Join me live here in Finland on a secret NATO training exercise with the 3 rifles, following soldiers from across the northeast.
The Black Cats back in Europe. Sunderland secure a Europa League spot for the first time in more than 50 years. We have more reaction.
And royal seal of approval. King Charles visits a brand new cancer centre in York. First tonight, you may have been basking in that wall-to-wall sunshine over the bank holiday weekend, and again today, as the UK experienced its hottest May day on record.
Yeah, the sun's been out in full force again today. Crowds have flocked to our coast and people are making the most of the balmy temperatures.
Topcliffe in North Yorkshire was the first place in our region to record a heatwave, the 3rd day in a row to reach well above 25 degrees. Julia Barthram has been speaking to those coping with the temperatures there.
Everywhere felt the power of the sun this bank holiday, and the small village of Topcliffe in North Yorkshire recorded some very large temperatures, officially reaching 31.2 degrees Celsius. Very good for business at the Angel Inn.
Manic. I mean, I would say the whole garden's been full the whole weekend. Even when you think you're going to die down, you then get an influx of more people coming, and particularly, even Sunday lunches. People are still out having Sunday lunches, so it's been crazy.
After a cold and quiet Easter, the business is welcome, but it brings a challenge for staff. A busy beer garden means lots of time in the sun, walking lots of steps.
On a day like Friday or Saturday, you could easily do 15, 20,000, and that is walking loops, whether it be in the kitchen, up and down here, even walking around the building.
In the confines of the beer garden, the temperature can rise even higher, and at times the hard decision has been taken to close early to give staff a break.
I mean, you've got to think about their safety, haven't you, really? We don't want anybody passing out, fainting, or heat exhaustion or anything like that, so we took the decision it would be the best thing, just to close a little bit early, give everybody a good break, time to rehydrate, etc.
As man and beast look for ways to keep cool, the records keep being broken. The bank holiday was the hottest May day and the hottest bank holiday ever recorded. For farmers, the sudden change in temperature is becoming an expected challenge. Only 10 days ago were frosts likely here.
I was having issues with yellowing in spinach because of the cold nights, so then a sudden shock to the crop with the intense heat of the heat wave that we've had, which is going to cause, yet again, issues again for the complete opposite reason, for higher temperatures opposed to cooler temperatures. So it's just one extreme to the other extreme, but seems to be the norm nowadays, unfortunately.
The streets of Topcliffe are quiet as the village enters an official heat wave. 3 days in a row peaking above 25 degrees.
Unbearable. Just standing still was unbearable.
Everybody seems to have gone to ground.
But I found people tending to go out early in the morning.
We just follow the shadow, any shadow away from the sun.
Very hot. Absolutely boiling doing this job.
Some relief is expected tomorrow, but with records being broken year after year, people are having to learn to cope with the heat. Julia Barthram, ITV News, Topcliffe.
And of course, Ross will be here later in the programme to tell us whether that hot weather is set to continue. Now, to possibly cooler climes, I'm not sure, we'll find out. Dozens of soldiers from across our region are taking part in a large-scale NATO training exercise in Finland.
The 3 rifles are training alongside troops from the US and Europe to be ready to respond in an increasingly volatile world. The exercise is taking place in the north of Finland, and our correspondent Rachel Bullock was invited by the Ministry of Defence to join them to report on their work there. She's based close to the Finnish army barracks in the northern city of Kajaani, and we can join her live there now. So, Rachel, this training is really pushing the boundaries, isn't it, of military technology?
That's right. Exercise Northern Star brings together NATO member states, and while we can't reveal the exact location of the training ground, we can say it's very close to Finland's border with Russia, and it's to prepare for any potential threat. 3 rifles are using drones and trackers, which are described as the very future of modern warfare. We followed Northeast soldiers from B and C companies as they carried out their mission. 4,000 soldiers from across Europe, side by side with the 3 rifles. The exact location of Exercise Northern Star is remote and secret. We're driven for miles into the dense, mossy woodland of northern Finland. We're just west of the Russian border. The vast beach and pine forest, the ideal training ground to build skill, strength and stamina. The objective, though, is not to destroy the enemy invader.
This is a delay action, so the enemy are going to advance onto us, and then we're not here to necessarily hold them for a prolonged period of time. We're here to quickly engage them and then withdraw back.
Lance Corporal Metcalf is from Sunderland.
And then the idea, if that happens enough, then we'll delay the enemy long enough for our next action.
The enemy is being played by the French and Hungarian troops, and intelligence has just told us that they're about 300 metres east of here now, and they are advancing. They are far superior in terms of numbers. There's going to be a stand-up here. The French and Hungarians attack. The 3 rifles' objective is to slow them before moving back.
Withdraw! Withdraw!
All of it coordinated by cutting-edge military technology.
I'm training BDC, so Deck Commander, and out here I'm working in that role.
Lance Corporal Aaron Benson from Newcastle uses an advanced GPS system to connect to his comrades and the base command post.
We call it a battle board. This helps me a lot more than the traditional methods that we'd use. That helps us and my leadership or commanders understand what I'm looking at on the ground that I'm on. Put it out, set it up, send it to everybody that's on the system and the server, and then they all know where I'm at. It's a game changer for what we're doing.
Ukraine has broken new ground by using drones to both attack and defend in its war with Russia. 3 Rifles has similar assets. This is a ghost drone. Helicopter-like, it can withstand high winds to search out, record and send back the location of an invading enemy.
And it's something that we're working to develop, and this is why we're out here, having a shake out in a bit of a different environment. There's challenges, but it does make your life easier, and there's advantages to using these sorts of systems, especially in my job role.
Once the ghost drone has identified the location of the enemy, it can then be followed by this one-use drone. It's called the Bolt. It has onboard munitions. It can go to where the enemy is and then dive at speeds of more than 100 kilometres an hour. It then destroys on impact. It is, in effect, a flying bomb.
The whole concept behind that is the ability to use sensors and effectors at range.
Major Steve Watts is the exercise controller leading the 3 Rifles operation. Would you describe those assets as the future of modern warfare?
Absolutely. So you can make a decision faster and you can kill things further away. It increases our lethality, also increases our survivability, because you haven't got to be there to kill something. You can send a sensor forward. And that's really critical as we look to the future.
This is really reflective, isn't it, of the importance of unity, of standing together as forces?
Yeah, it is, yeah. It's a really cool exercise. We're working alongside the Finns, but there's the Americans. Our enemy over the last 2 days has been Hungarian Special Forces and French soldiers. You know, a peer enemy operating at mass, it's a unique opportunity.
For Rifleman Metcalf, it's his life's ambition.
5.5 years I've been in 3 Rifles. The good life, we're based in Edinburgh, so, 2.5 hours from the northeast, which isn't bad. Edinburgh's a great city as well, really enjoyable.
Just moments later, intelligence that the enemy is once again advancing. It's time to move to the next location and maintain defence. action-packed, and I know you've been baking back home in the UK, but we've had sleet here. We've also had almost 19 hours of daylight because we're so far north. Very different to NATO's last exercise here, codenamed Northern Axe, again with the 3 rifles back in December when Finland was having its polar night, almost 24 hours of twilight. Military leaders say that's why Finland is so perfect for training. It offers soldiers territorial experience with the 3 rifles at its very heart.
A fascinating insight. Rachel, live in Finland for us tonight. Thank you very much indeed. Next, more than 1 million people in the UK are living with an eating disorder, but the true number of deaths linked to the illness could be misused.
Yes, official figures don't always record eating disorders as a cause of death, and that's why there are calls for a national mortality register in the hope that illnesses like anorexia and bulimia are taken more seriously. Hannah Ludlow reports.
Ellie was fun-loving, she loved life, she loved to travel, she loved to have a laugh, she loved her friends, she loved her family.
In August last year, at just 26 years old, Ellie Taylor passed away. She'd been suffering from the eating disorder anorexia for 6 years.
We still can't believe it. We still can't believe it's happened. It still feels like she's in a unit somewhere. I'm still waiting for the text messages. I'm still waiting for the phone call. So, yeah, it's hard, really hard.
Ellie's family are still waiting for her death certificate, but they've been told by the coroner that her cause of death is likely to be recorded as high potassium levels.
Yes, she did have high potassium, and that's what caused her to pass away. But at the end of the day, it's still a complication of that eating disorder, and that should be recognised.
The latest figures show that 29 people died from anorexia between April 2024 and April 2025. But the way that eating disorder deaths are recorded means that figure could be much higher in reality. That's because when the immediate cause of death is recorded as something like cardiac arrest, organ failure, suicide, or high potassium in Ellie's case, the underlying cause of death, i.e. the eating disorder, might not be recorded, meaning it can disappear from the record.
It's why 26 charities, MPs and campaigners have signed an open letter to the government, calling for an eating disorder mortality register.
The number of cases has skyrocketed. We've got youngsters that feel like there's no access to support. So we can just start getting an accurate idea of what this looks like at the wrong end. It can only help us with treatment.
Sarah Peat is an eating disorder specialist based in Northumberland. She says a mortality register would help people to take the illness more seriously.
There's a dangerous misconception that eating disorders are not life-threatening, when in reality they are a serious mental health condition that have severe physical consequences that can result in death.
I feel as if I can't grieve properly because we feel as if it's still ongoing. That there's people out there that have got eating disorders that aren't getting the support that they need. It upsets me. I don't want anybody to go through what I've been through.
Well, let's get more on this with Hannah, who joins us now. Hannah, really emotional hearing from Rachel there. But these calls for a mortality register are just the tip of the iceberg, aren't they?
Yes, they really are. Almost 15,000 people have signed a petition. They're calling for a national eating disorder strategy. What they want to see is a national inquiry into eating disorder services in this country. Not only that, but they want more investment in early intervention. They want care pathways for all different kinds of eating disorders. And they want improved training for the people that deliver those eating disorder services. I asked campaigner Hope Virgo why the strategy is needed.
By having a national eating disorder strategy, it helps us to make sure that people are getting a high quality standard of care, and it also provides a space where we can hold people and services to account for when someone isn't getting the care and treatment they need.
Well, I put those calls for a mortality register and for a national strategy to the Department for Health and Social Care. They told me that the government shares those concerns about the accurate reporting of deaths that we highlighted in that report there. But they said that they do have clear guidelines around this.
They also told us that they're investing £16 billion in eating disorder services this year, and they're working closely with NHS England to improve community-based eating disorder services.
It's an important spotlight. Hannah, thank you very much indeed. The ITV Evening News continues at 6:30 with Gamal.
Another day of soaring temperatures after heat records were broken over the bank holiday weekend. Amber and yellow heat alerts are in place, with the Met Office saying that parts of the UK will be hotter than Mallorca. The Prime Minister says that the rape case which saw 3 teenage boys avoid jail sentences will go to the Court of Appeal. Also, top doctors warn social media is as dangerous as smoking for children. And how an extreme sport became a near-death experience for this paraglider. Join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
So another North East football season is in the books, and one way or another, it was a dramatic finale, wasn't it, Simon?
Yeah, we got the happy ending that no one really saw coming. 4 years ago, Sunderland were in League One. 12 months ago, they went up to the Premier League and everyone assumed they'd drop straight back down again. On Sunday, they finished 7th and qualified for Europe for the first time in more than half a century. The Black Cats will play in the Europa League next season. Just let that sink in for a minute. They were supposed to be newly promoted cannon fodder, but they finished 7th in the Premier League, and later this year, European football will be welcomed to Sunderland for the first time since 1973.
It's absolutely huge for the city, and we've seen a huge uplift since we got into the Premiership in terms of numbers of people coming into the city. This will just increase that again because people are coming from Europe. It is huge. It's absolutely huge for us.
I never thought I would see the day that Sunderland would be in Europe. I thought this would be a really tough season, and best case scenario, they might finish 15th, 14th, and that would be astonishing to get into Europe. It genuinely beggars belief, and they deserve it.
The stars aligned for the Black Cats on the final day of the season. The first part of the equation was beating Chelsea, and Sunderland beat them 2-1. It got nervy towards the end when the crowd realised history was beckoning, but the victory itself was well deserved. Then the Black Cats needed other results to go for them. Basically, all the other results went for them, and when the music stopped, Sunderland was 7th, and Sunderland were in the Europa League.
It shows that anything is possible in football. Especially when you are working hard, you are representing the community, you are humble.
I can promise you from my side, like a captain of this football club, this is just the beginning and we will want more.
Oh, perfect! We've made it to Europe!
Been a brilliant season, and that's just capped it off, so get your passports out and let's enjoy it.
Everybody had us relegated by Christmas, so we've just proved everybody wrong.
Can't wait. Been waiting for it for absolute years.
Been following for Sunderland for 32 years now, right? This is the best moment of my whole entire life.
What a beautiful season. Really beautiful season.
Me and everybody I know, we're going to make our way to Europe. It's going to be fantastic. We haven't told the wife yet.
All this happened exactly 1 year to the day since Sunderland were promoted to the Premier League. At the time, the football world was convinced Sunderland would be back in the Championship next season. But instead, they're back in Europe after 53 years away.
A remarkable season for Sunderland. How did they manage to do it, Simon?
A lot of things, but basically by not accepting their fate, by being brave and bold in the transfer market. I mean, bringing in Granit Xhaka was an absolute masterstroke. Regis Lebris is a Manager of the Year contender. The Stadium of Light became a fortress. The fans were great. But the bottom line is the whole club embraced the challenge and they just weren't afraid of it.
Elsewhere, Simon, the Spygate saga is finally over, and when the dust all settles on it, Middlesbrough, well, they're going to be back in the Championship next season, but it really felt like this story deserved a different ending. It's gutting in a way, isn't it, Simon?
Yeah, Middlesbrough's never going to forget Spygate, but the best stories have the best endings, don't they? And the final chapter lets Spygate down as far as Borough are concerned. The Middlesbrough faithful who took over Trafalgar Square on Friday night had a lot to process. Beaten in the playoffs by Southampton, but only after Southampton spied on them. Then parachuted back into the final after the Football League threw Southampton out. Then given 48 hours to get tickets, transport and hotels. Then another threat as Hull City confirmed they would have taken legal action if they'd lost because they felt messed about by the whole affair. But Hull won, so that was the full stop on Spygate. Borough's most obvious problem all season was a lack of goals, and that killed them on Saturday. They had all the possession but did nothing with it. Hull picked their pocket and won promotion to the Premier League. Borough have still never won at Wembley, but it's not all bad news. Kim Hellberg's a good, charismatic and popular coach. The connection between the club and the fans is very strong. There's a lot to build on, but this was a colossal missed opportunity.
This season, in many ways, are a massive step forward for the club. How we have played football, how we have performed, how we have strengthened the bond together, how we have fight together. But at the end of the day, we haven't been good enough, and that's what we have to try to be next year.
This is the 6th time I come to Wembley, and we've always lost.
Here we are. Next year is another year.
Another season, championship, what can you do? This is Borough for you.
It's just been a season where we've just not had that final moment where we've been able to finish it.
It hasn't been a great season for Newcastle United, and it didn't end well. The 2-0 defeat at Fulham was a flat end to a flat campaign that didn't live up to expectations. The Magpies had their moments, mostly in the Champions League, but it didn't amount to anything in the end. Newcastle finished 12th. The failure to adequately replace Alexander Isak loomed large over everything. Eddie Howe, the players, in fact the whole club, knows they must do better.
OK, Simon, thank you very much indeed. Now, His Majesty the King's been in North Yorkshire today to visit 2 projects which are very close to his heart.
King Charles went first to the Animal and Plant Agency, and then it was on to York Hospital for a tour of what will soon be a brand new Macmillan Cancer Centre. Fraser Maud went along.
So this is the not quite completed £2.4 million redevelopment of the Macmillan Nurse Centre here that His Majesty visited earlier on today. We can take you inside. This place is going to be absolutely amazing when it's finished, and one of the people who's going to make good use of it, I'm sure, is Sue Blanchard, a complementary therapist for people with cancer. What difference is having a centre like this going to make?
Oh, it's going to make a huge difference to the patients of the area. It's somewhere where they can come to have a less clinical space.
Fantastic. Of course, His Royal Highness, a cancer patient himself. This was the second stop on his visit of North Yorkshire today. Just to let you know, he also went to the Animal and Plant Health Agency, where they are planning on trying to find a way to control grey squirrel populations to allow the native red squirrels to flourish. We'll come outside now into the garden, into the beautiful sunshine here. We can have a chat with Jenny Piper, consultant specialising in breast cancer. What did His Majesty make of this new Macmillan Centre?
Oh, he was absolutely thrilled with it. It was such a pleasure to be able to show him around and be able to explain what the difference is that the patients are going to have.
Well, one person who knows firsthand the benefits of Macmillan care. Angie, you had breast cancer 10 years ago. Yes. You've been in remission for 9 years. That's fantastic news, but you know just how important places like this are.
This is a saving light. To come into Cancer Care Centre away from the medical side of things, and this concentrates on your well-being and the holistic approach, which I found invaluable.
You managed to put His Majesty to work as well, planting a Macmillan rose here. You gave him a hand doing that. What was his reaction to the place?
Oh, he thought it was wonderful. He was very good at planting the rose.
I'm glad to hear it.
And then I watered it, so I can honestly say I have gardened with the King.
That's an incredible claim to have. Jenny, he's put you to work as well, hasn't he? You're on watering duties.
I'm on watering duties every day. I've promised him that I will not let the rose die, so I'm feeling the pressure right now.
Fantastic. Well, let's have one last look at the Macmillan rose. It's looking a little bit not at its best at the moment. That will flourish and grow, just as the centre here will flourish and grow and help people like Angie for many, many years to come.
Fraser Maud there. Ross joins us now. Lots of sunshine for the flowers to contend with at the moment. Now, as the temperatures have gone up, your voice has got lower. You're struggling at the moment, aren't you?
Are you okay?
I was shouting, put on your sun cream all weekend, and I've run out of voice today.
Okay, see if you can manage the next
Let's minutes. try it. Just so unusual talking about these temperatures at this time of year, it's still technically spring. Let's take a look at some of the records because we are in the books now. Before this weekend, our hottest May record has held since 1947 at 28.9 degrees. Yesterday, that was beaten by over 2 degrees at Topcliffe, as we saw earlier. Usually with these records, they drop by a fraction of a degree. So that 2 degrees, well, we've not really seen that before, I'll be honest. And there were many places that got above 29 degrees across the region. All of these would have beaten that record. So that was our region. Across the UK as a whole, hottest May day on record, that was today, 35.1 degrees. Warmest May night, that was last night. And then our hottest UK bank holiday of all the bank holidays, including the one in August. If this is too much, don't worry, it's feeling fresher tomorrow. Here's the forecast.
Today's forecast: blue skies, followed by a spread of hot and cold plates. TUI sponsors ITV Tyne's weather.
There is still plenty of sunshine around as we end the day, and of course in the best of that sunshine those temperatures still very much on the warmer side. It's going to stay mild overnight, but the cloud is increasing, and good news if you have been struggling through these top temperatures, it's not as warm as we head into tomorrow. That blip though short-lived, more sunshine to come as we head towards Thursday and Friday, and again the temperatures will be picking up by a few degrees. High pressure's in control, it's keeping things very settled, very stable. As it moves around, the breeze is coming from the North Sea tomorrow into Thursday, pushing its way further east, dragging out the southerly winds, and of course we have trapped that very warm air over the UK, and with the high pressure staying with us, very little sign of that shifting until at least this weekend. For now, though, the breezes are starting to come in from the North Sea. The cloud is increasing as we head into the early hours. It's pushing right across the region. And with that cloud cover, temperature still holding up. We've got overnight lows around 12 or 13 degrees, certainly for built-up areas. So another mild start into tomorrow morning, but it's feeling very different. The cloudy nature will stay with us as we head through the morning into the afternoon, starting to thin and break. Brighter skies and sunny spells developing. That cloud burning its way back towards the coast. Coastal areas seeing the fresher temperatures actually quite low for the time of year at around 14 degrees. Top temperatures inland around 16 or 17, so well down on those highs we've had over the last few days. But through Wednesday and into Thursday, as that high pressure starts to move around, we begin to see those breezes coming up from the south. Small chance of a few showers first thing Thursday morning, much needed but short-lived. Then again, we're dragging up that warmer air, those winds from that southerly direction into Thursday. Plenty of sunshine, highs around 22 or 23 degrees, staying into the 20s through the next few days.
TUI sponsors ITV Tyne's weather.
Making the most of summer. Piri sponsors ITV pollen count.
The grass pollen season is kicking off, but even with plenty of dry, fine, sunny weather to come through the next few days, with very light winds, very little pollen's being swept up into the air, so generally those levels are staying low.
Pollen count staying low, as is the voice. Ross, thank you very much indeed. The national and international news is next.
Yeah, see what we'll have with tomorrow. I'll be back with an update for you at 10:30. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.